three J's today, Josh and John. Thanks for joining me. So this is something we talked about. John and I actually talked about in Chicago about getting together and chatting about some '90s stuff. So the stars aligned, and today was the day. So I'm glad we could get some time on all of our schedules at work, because I know we're all very busy. We were just talking before we get on about how quickly the fall is going to go by.
Yeah.
So,
football season in Chicago. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
terrible.
I'm a Packers fan, so we don't need to go over that.
Oh, you are?
You didn't know?
Oh, I'm going to turn this off right now. Hang on.
You're in New York, though, right?
No, Massachusetts. Close enough.
Massachusetts. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you unfortunately become a fan of the Packers?
So, growing up in New Hampshire, right, where we don't have any sports teams, everybody was like a fan of the Cowboys or the 49ers. You know, everybody's wearing Emmitt Smith jerseys, Troy Aikman, Jerry Rice, all that type of stuff. And I was still trying to figure out what team was mine. And then that was the year that the Patriots with Bill Parcells and Bledsoe got to the Super Bowl. And they were, all of a sudden, everybody that was Cowboys and 49ers earlier in the year now is like, I've always been a Patriots fan. So I was like, no, you haven't been. Like, I can remember. So I was like, you know what? Just out of spite, I'm going to root for the Packers. And then they won, and they made me right. So I was like, okay, now that's my team. And I loved Reggie White. Reggie White was my guy. So
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He's awesome.
Packers are okay.
Yeah. They've been right on a couple quarterbacks, which helps. So
yeah, you know, and you go from Starr to Favre to Rodgers.
Yeah. Easy transition.
Now we'll see about
Jordan
Love, right?
I'm not sold on him, but
we'll see. Poor Packers. Gee.
I'm just terrible with you guys in general. I'm so 90s.
and that's why we are chatting today. Is a chat about 90s. So one of the things that I want to jump into, Josh, I know you did a lot of videos with Brian Cajun, so I'm sure some people are familiar. Most people are probably familiar. But so, John, I'm gonna guess a lot of people aren't as familiar with you and kind of like your story. So do you want to share a little bit about kind of like your background in cards and you know, what got us to where we are today with 90s auctions?
Sure. I mean, it started as a kid, probably 6, 7, got into comics, cards. It always kind of just carried with me as time went on. And I don't know, you know, you go to school, you discover other things besides cards, and then, you know, you get out of school. And then I went into my storage one day and I seen I had all these cards, and I looked them up on eBay. And man, I looked at the prices. I was like, wow. I was like, this is really catching fire. This was around 2017, 2018. So I started getting stuff graded. A lot of stuff came back 10s. And it kind of just whirlwinded from there. I got in touch with this guy, and, you know, we kind of just broke bread together, and now here we are.
And being a Chicago guy, I'm sure a lot of those cards that you had in your storage were Jordans, weren't they?
Oh,
any like childhood favorite card?
Scoring Kings. I mean, you know, I actually got my first copy of Scoring Kings from my mom. She found it in a cab supposedly, and she gave it to me. So I was like, whatever, as long as I have it, I'm cool. You know. I keep it in my PC. I've colored it with Stanford marker. Oh yeah. I colored all 4 corners, so like, it's just, you know, it's with me forever. It's altered.
Well, I would love to see a picture of that one.
Yeah, we gotta see
you know what?
Post
take me about 2 minutes to find it.
I gotta see that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be.
I got you.
Well, so you've been in it for a long time, long tenured collector, and you grew up with the 90s stuff. So when you got back in, was it just like immediately like, I'm going to stick with the stuff I love?
I mean, it's something that I was missing that I didn't know I was missing. You know what I mean? It's like when you're young, that nostalgia, of course, we throw that word around because that's the key word. But I mean, once I opened that storage up and I seen that shoebox full of cards, I was just like, I don't know, it sparked something, you know? And I mean, it got me to the point where I didn't even have to work a normal job anymore. I could just make money off cards now, and that's a beautiful thing because it's a love relationship, you know.
Mm. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's no better equation when you can do something that you just genuinely enjoy. I'm still looking for that.
Telling you.
This is just something off the side that I do. But so one of the things too that I loved about your guys' booth in Chicago and you know over the last couple of years is not only do you guys have great 90s stuff, but you guys are not the only people there. You guys have a good wide range of people, and I feel like every time I stop by, there's something that I learn from you guys, especially. You know, so like there were a number of things that we were talking about, like just different, you know, nerding out because like John, I know you were saying, you know, when you got back in 17, 18, you were grading, and I wasn't. Like I didn't start grading until, you know, the pandemic really. So you were sharing like some really niche details that have big impacts on grades that I'm just like, I'm glad I knew that. So like what are some of those details that you think that kind of like people aren't aware of that really do play an impact in condition that, you know, might not be able to be picked up unless you knew it?
It always, of course, it depends on the card, you know. We were talking about, me and you at the Nationals, we were talking about I had a SGC 9.5 frequent flyer, and you were putting me up on game about the upgrade, how it had a glossy surface. And me and you were both trying to figure out the differences, like in the BGS 9.5 and the SGC. And it was a super, super small detail because they both look flawless, you know. It was a super small detail, which was the Skybox logo. Can you see that? In the bottom corner right there?
Yep.
That one and the SGC slab, the reason it didn't 10 was because it was kind of off. The printing was off, would you say?
Yeah, it was a little bit it's almost like it wasn't as in clear focus.
Right. It was weird. It was like there's like 3 Skybox logos instead of just one.
Right.
And they were kind of like spread out a little bit. So we figured that out, and yeah, we were talking about that, and we also were discussing just 90s inserts. It's kind of nerdy, but it's like just little things that we notice, like how the exclamation points in basketball are cardboard and they come with the sleeve, and then in the football. And I love this style way more. Me and you were talking about that this style is just so much cooler, you know? The acetate with the gold little dots on it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's cool. And then
I mean, the basketball is cool, but not as cool as the football.
Well, they did re-release, I believe in 2012 retro. They redid the exclamation points for basketball, but they used this style.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. I have some, but I'm not going to dig them out. They're buried. Yeah. I'm a big retro guy. I love the Fleer retros.
Right.
Because when I first got back into the hobby, I couldn't really afford the cool stuff, so I just went with the retros.
Okay. Fair.
And also the starring rows were a big thing. These were 1 in 288 packs. They had football, basketball, and baseball. And the football, if you can see how the star has a glitter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Subtle.
Like
it's subtle. Like, I'm not sure if people will be able to see it on camera, but I remember when you were showing me in person, it definitely pops more than the basketball.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite. The basketball are just going to be the plain acetate.
Right.
And then the baseball are actually going to have a die cut on the top of the star. I believe in the left or the right hand, corner, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. See, now I'm going to have to go and look for like a Frank Thomas or a Chipper Jones or somebody like that. I have to look.
Gosh, you don't have a Frank?
I don't have a Frank in that issue. No, I want one though. I've seen that before. I don't have one. Those are awesome.
I love starring rows. Yeah.
Maybe I won't go for the Frank then. Maybe I'll go for one of the other baseball. If I'm having to fight with you for it, that might be a losing battle for me.
I was trying to get a PSA 10 Griffey the other day, but the guy wouldn't go underneath 1,500. So I'm like,
Yeah, Griffey stuff is it's a hot commodity these days, I hear.
Oh
yeah, red hot.
I mean, Griffey. If you grew up on Griffey, beautiful, awesome,
beautiful swing, one of the best. Probably the most beautiful swing. I mean, I'm not aficionado of people's swinging styles, but I would be hard pressed to find a better looking swing than his.
Yeah, I agree. I like Frank's swing though too. You know, Frank had
Frank's the
that.
man, dude.
Yeah, he'd flare
Frank's the
those
man.
nostrils up. He was a beast.
He was. I mean, oh man, there was something about the White Sox uniforms that I really liked back in the '90s. Like they weren't,
Yeah.
you know, the black and white is pretty simple, but like, I don't know. I always had a White Sox hat as a kid because I just really liked the White Sox and the whole aesthetic.
You and every rapper.
Well, you know, growing up in New Hampshire, you know, I didn't have a lot of competition in that genre, so. So Josh, what are some of the cards that, you know, maybe like what got us to 90s auctions? Like, are there some cards that kind of like grew the relationship between you and John, or tell us some of the story behind how did we get here with the auction site just dedicated to 90s?
Oh, so around 2019, I was just looking on eBay for cards to buy, and I found I believe it was a Hot Numbers, Jordan Hot Numbers. John had it, and I said, you do this? He said, yeah. I'm like, actually, you live close to me. I'll meet you.
Nope.
Yeah, it was Hot Numbers.
He's got it backwards. I don't mean to interrupt you. It was Scoring Kings.
There you go. There was a Hot Number somewhere in there.
It was a raw Scoring Kings.
That's right.
Yeah, I ended up buying a PSA 10 Hot Numbers like probably 6 months later.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, we met up and we started talking.
Getting the high voltage 500 Kobe.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a nice card. And yeah, we became friends, and we had the idea of doing this. And I was gonna start it right around the pandemic because I was helping another friend run a vintage football auction, and that's when I had the idea. I'm like, well, vintage football. Most of them were like old heads who like love this stuff, but none of them are on social media. And like we used to have guys call in to put their bids in. Like,
oh wow.
Hey, yeah, I'm like, all right, guy, like use the internet. Not using the internet. I'm like, all right, I'll put your bid in. You got outbid. You want to go again? So like it was like totally old school, like 80s, 90s,
Jeez.
you know, SCD auctions. So I'm like, I should do this for 90s cards because like I love them, and everyone my age is getting, you know, older, and they have a couple bucks to buy stuff. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like, oh, I probably should hold off. And then a year ago, John and I discussed it, and like, let's start it. And we started around, I think, you know, November was our first one, and we're going to do our fourth one starting in a week or so. So, which is, I'm glad we made it a year so far. That's the hardest part. We'll just keep going. Each time we get something different, something cool. And then, you know, being at the National helps. I went to Burbank last month, which was great.
Okay.
Actually, it was this month. It was the beginning of it, which I can't believe this month's been, seems like it's been 100 years. But yeah, so it's been great. Yeah, John's a great partner. I'm lucky to have found each other.
So you guys do quarterly auctions, right?
Yeah.
4 per year? Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And like what's the you know, for people who might not have poked around the site, what kind of caliber of cards are we talking about? And is it just cards? Is it cards in like some, you know, sports adjacent stuff? Like what kind of stuff would they be looking at?
Both. You know, we try to find hard to find rare 90s cards. Like we've got a Shaq Vivid out of 50 that it doesn't pop up that often. We've got and then also memorabilia. So we have a 95-96 Bulls autographed team ball from the 72 win season, which I think is really cool. And we also have a mini banner signed by the starting five of the 92 Bulls team, so the repeat team. And then we got, you know, a lot of Jordan inserts. We've got a David Ortiz PMG, jersey number 27 out of 50, which I think is really neat.
Oh wow!
And then a lot of Shaq. You got a Shaq titanium. It's a 9.5. So 250. Yeah, and then stuff that, you know, everyone likes, but you don't see that often. Like our goal wasn't to have like 15 Kobe rookies in each auction or something like that. Which ultimately the goal is to be the place to go to for hard to find 90 stuff, to buy it and sell it, to get all the eyeballs on it. And we're growing in terms of people watching each auction, people bidding in each auction, and bidders that we have. So there's been an increase in each auction.
So that David Ortiz, just to nerd out real quick, you said it's a PMG. What year is it? What I don't know what his rookie year was. I know he was with the Twins.
Rookie year is 96 with the Twins. It's a 98 PMG.
Okay,
yeah.
So third year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He killed the White Sox. He was He was a White Sox killer. I was so glad to see him leave. So, yeah.
He killed a few teams, yeah.
It's a 1999 Metal Universe PSA.
99. There you go.
So those are like the gold ones.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Wow.
I can show you a pic.
Yeah, if I
second.
can find a picture on your guys' Instagram page, I'll have to flash that up there.
It's up there, yeah. It's the cards at the office right now, so I don't keep anything at home. So otherwise, I would have brought a picture. But yeah, no, those are great. Those PMGs are 99 PMG. I feel like the baseball.
Show that ad.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pop through that. And let me just go back a little bit. The jersey number. Somebody was asking me because I believe he was number 34 on the Red Sox, or am I wrong?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He's 27 on the Twins, though.
Okay. There you go. That's what I wanted to clear up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's the jersey number.
Yeah, I mean, we got some really good stuff.
Yeah. So what are some of the other like you mentioned
some really good stuff. We got a 9.5. Mm-hmm. We got a BGS 9.5 Shaquille O'Neal titanium, the one out of 250.
Yep.
We have a club, I believe it's a club vertical Kevin Garnett.
Yes, we got.
Let me get you a pic of that.
In the 98,
that's a really nice one. Kind of like a downward die cut. Oh, the PSA 10 scoring magnet, Michael Jordan.
The scoring magnet from 96, right?
Yeah. On which one?
Yeah, the scoring magnet.
Those are tough to get gems on.
Wow. Oh, no, 95.
Those are 95. Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the foil. Those are tough.
Those are tough. And I like the red because like the penny scoring magnet is like a lot of blue. I like how the red kind of plays with the teal there for Jordan.
Sure. Yeah. The penny sharp.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all right. So what penny fire you guys?
I just grabbed this one. It's for my. Yeah, see, I was going to bring this up. I just grabbed this one. It's for my PC. It's not going to be in the auction, but I just want to show you. You probably have it already, but.
Ooh, so I have one.
You have that, right?
Yeah, but mine's a PSA 8 without an auto grade, which annoys me. And the guy I got it from, like it looks. I mean, this is one of the cleanest looking PSA 8s I've ever seen. And at some point, I'm going to get it graded. I'm going to send it back in because I hate having autographed cards without an autograph grade.
Right.
So we'll see if when I send it, because usually if I'm going to regrade something, I'm going to crack it first. Mm-hmm. So it could come back a 5 for all I know. But right now it's an 8. So that is.
So who you go with PSA?
Well, so it's like a card by card basis, but like I have only submitted to Beckett twice. I'm trying to think. I have not submitted to Beckett often. But like I like my PC cards in Beckett slabs. I just prefer to buy them already in a Beckett slab than going through. I don't love the whole like black box of like not knowing when my cards are coming back when I send them off. So if there was a tracker on Beckett, I'd probably send more. But
yeah, they take forever.
If you want to do a little swap of that penny sign of the times for my PSA 8, we could be in business.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline on that.
That's why he wants us on. There you go.
I should have showed him too. I was like, should I show him? I gotta show him.
What's funny is I saw in your guys' last auction, you guys had like, I don't know if it was the full set, but it looked like just about every card from the 97 Ultra Stars Gold.
Gold Stars.
Yep. And I saw that you guys had the penny in a PSA 8.5, and my penny is a BGS 9. But there's something about the half grades on PSAs that I kind of think it's fun because there's not a lot of them out there. Uh-huh. So I was like, I was joking around with one of my buddies, and I was like, I should call them and see if they'll just do an even trade for my BGS 9 for the penny. Was it the whole set that you guys were selling?
Did you check the pop on that?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
we had a consigner send us.
It was like probably 4 or
about
5
12.
players out of the set.
Okay. So almost the whole set.
We had
Almost, yeah.
Pippen at one point. We had Kemp, Hardaway. I think Marcus Camby.
Yep.
I think I saw John Wallace.
We did have a John Wall.
Yeah,
John Wallace. Not John Wall. John Wallace.
No,
A
John
couple
Wall.
years later.
John Wall's
Right.
like 2013.
I know.
Yeah.
He's doing the Dougie.
Did-
So one of the questions that I had, for anybody watching this before we got on is how many kabooms do you guys have in the auction this month?
So many.
So many?
So many. Can't even
So I
count.
think
the whole set.
I think one of the big benefits to people like ourselves that love 90s that going onto the site, even if you don't have the means to, because some of the cards that we're talking about, these are big ticket cards, right? You're not probably, and I don't know, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably not going to be finding like, base Z-Force from 97, of Kobe. You're probably not finding $5 or $10 cards. You guys are looking for some of the hard to find rare stuff. But I find that even if I'm just window shopping, there we go.
Mhm.
Who is that?
The best
That's
running back
Peyton.
of all time.
Oh, okay. I guess he's all right. But it's nice because like you're going through and you're looking at 90s grails, and you're not being watered down with any of the the stuff that you don't want to see. If you're a 90s head like us, and like I said, even if there's only one card that you're interested in bidding on, there's so much eye candy to just like nerd out on, and like John and I were talking about at National, like some of the stuff that I'm so deeply entrenched in the basketball that when I learn and see, the football version or the baseball version or the hockey version of some of these 90s cards, it's like a slight variation, but like it's a whole new world of eye candy for me. And like going through, I wouldn't find that stuff if I'm looking on eBay for, Penny Hardaway starring role, right? I wouldn't find Emmett Smith, right? But I can go through and look at everything that you guys are selling because it's not like hundreds and hundreds of listings and it's all 90s. It's like a fun little mental vacation.
Oh yeah, and this auction we're gonna have a bunch of wax, a lot of sealed wax, sealed sets. So from mostly baseball, football, and some basketball.
What kind of wax are you talking?
Like Skybox, not like Z4, not like EX 2001, but like not metal, but some stuff right before that. We've got 92 Topps basketball gold sets.
Okay.
We got 2 of those. We've got Stadium Club football, Stadium Club hockey, which is still 91, which is still very popular. You get the Brett Favre in the football, and then the basketball is always popular. And I'm trying to think what else. A lot of football wax, early to mid 90s football wax, which still it's very popular.
Cool.
Did you have any wild card or no?
We had wild card in the last auction. And it
Okay.
did okay.
See,
so
I
our
can't keep
consignor was happy with
up
it.
with the wax.
Oh, I know. The wild card was good. Do you remember those? Used to try to get like 1,000 copies of Christian Okoye. Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
remember
rip
the
packs anymore.
Well, so like growing up, I loved ripping packs. Like, and it's funny mentioning wild card.
yeah.
I remember like I would get a lot of those like like Ames was a small department store where I grew up, and it would be like the repack products that we see sometimes today, like Fairfield stuff. I loved those as a kid because they would have a few packs, like hobby packs, but then it'd be stuffed with like wild card and like classic and like all that junk. But I would look through all the ones that they had to find the best packs. And one of my favorite stories is there was one time that my brother found one of them, only one, had a pack of 98.99 Chrome, and he grabbed it, and I was like, okay, get me another one. He's like, this is the only one, and he opened it and he pulled the Instant Impact of Vince Carter. And at that point, Vince Carter was, I'm actually wearing a Vince Carter shirt right now. He was the guy, that was his rookie year for the Raptors. So like I remember ripping wax was so much fun as a kid, and like I've had to slow myself down because like the nostalgia is fun, but like it's so tough ripping it at some of the prices that they're going for now.
Oh yeah.
It's rough. Yeah.
Football and baseball. are still good values, like compared to basketball. You can still get awesome cards for like the same set for baseball or football, and it's like, just because the basketball is so much more popular,
right?
Worldwide.
Well, and like, and getting back to like what John and I were saying about like some of the design stuff, like there are some designs that we just don't get for basketball cards,
right?
Or they did, like one of the cards that I remember, Intimidation Nation from '98 Skybox.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, the basketball version's cool, but I like the football version way more because it's subtle, right? It's the background of the basketball is all orange with the flame, but the football, you get the black with the flame, so the flames really show up.
Yeah.
There's so many different, like, what are some others that I'm not thinking of?
Well, baseball for Intimidation Nation is numbered to 99.
Oh, really?
And football and basketball are not. And then Grand Finale, right, in football and basketball is hand numbered to 50, not in baseball. Baseball, and it's a different look too. It's the vertical, horizontal as opposed to the vertical for football.
Oh, really?
Basketball. Yeah.
Okay. The other interesting thing with, correct me if I'm wrong on this, for baseball, there are no PMG reds or greens.
Nope, none.
For football, the full print run is 150, so you've got 15 greens, and then the rest are reds. And then obviously basketball, we know it's 100 total, 10 greens and 90 reds. But then if I remember correctly, the PMG championship set for baseball, there's a lot, like it's a longer checklist, right?
Much longer. Much longer. And go on.
But they're still numbered to 50?
They are numbered to 50, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's the check. Baseball's got a checklist PMG. Basketball doesn't. So Frank Thomas is on the checklist, which I actually need that card. So,
and the football checklist is Marino?
It is Marino, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else. I mean, there's Prime Choice Reserve is another one that's out of 100 from Upper Deck, but the basketball, it doesn't have that refractor type of Upper Deck look on it as much as the football and baseball do. It'd be a great card.
I love, and I know, Josh, you and I have talked about my hunt that I finally put to rest of the Gold Star Quest penny. But because of my hunt for the Gold Star Quest penny, I love the Prime Choice Reserves, and I have the penny, and they you could miss it because it's really just the addition of the Prime right above the Choice Reserve, and then obviously the serial number on the back. But my buddy and I that ripped a lot of UD Choice were talking about how much better the football, even if you aren't looking at the primes, even if you just look at the Choice Reserves, which are easy to find, they look so much better because, like you said, it's the reflective finish is all over the card.
Yep.
And the primes, I feel like it sticks out more on the football version also.
It does. It's sharper. Yeah. I'm still looking. There's a Kobe that's sitting on eBay forever, a PCR, but I still want to get a Jordan.
Well, I feel like because all the subsets, there's like 4 or 5 Jordan Prime choices. So like the prices aren't as outrageous as some of the other Jordan 90 stuff. Right.
But it's like debate whether it's playing years or not because it's a 99, 98, 99. So,
So where do you guys land on that? My feeling is I consider 98 still playing years.
Me
technically.
Too.
Okay.
But also, Scoring Kings, he wasn't playing in 93, so people, no one cares about that.
Right. That's never a conversation.
Right. So I'm fine with it.
Now, what about Wizards?
I just feel like as long as I like the card, I don't care what.
Right. That's true too. Yeah.
Yep. How do you guys feel about
I'm not a big fan of it, but there's collectors out there. It's a lot rarer than the Bull stuff, obviously.
Yeah, fewer years. Josh is over there sitting on. You're sitting on a treasure trove of Wizards Jordan stuff, aren't you?
Oh, me? A ton of
yeah, right.
A ton.
I honestly, I had one and I sold it.
I've got a few of the base, like Ovation and stuff like that. Because my brother was a big Jordan guy growing up, and I remember how excited he was that he was coming back. And then, he was grabbing everything Jordan when he came back, and he was like, I don't care if he's in a practice uniform or sweats, or he didn't care. He was grabbing everything. So it's it's kind of fun for me to remember those, that the excitement that he had. I was not terribly excited, but he was good though. If like looking back with hindsight, I feel like his Wizards years were a lot better than we gave him credit for because the team wasn't very good.
Right.
But he was phenomenal still.
And he played a significant number of games in his time.
Because you're comparing the Wizards years to the Bulls years.
Yeah, you're right. Comparison's rough, Kwame Brown.
Oh God, poor guy. Is he still around? I seen him heavy on the internet. He was talking a lot of trash for a while. I haven't heard from him lately.
He's still talking. I think. I don't know if he's talking as much as he was, but yeah. I follow. He's a fun Instagram follow. You never know what he's gonna say or when he's gonna pop up. He's
funny,
live.
like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like if we want to listen to like Gilbert Arena stories.
Oh, you want to hear something funny?
What do you got?
Exactly. You want to hear something funny? I heard that Jordan's son and Larsa Pippen are getting their own reality show.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So is
you know what I think? I think MJ's gonna cancel that. He's gonna buy that out.
Oh my goodness! Then Scotty's gonna write another book about his life.
Oh my goodness!
So being Chicago guys, now that I'm thinking about this, some of the stuff that like since the Last Dance, I feel like Scotty's legacy has changed a little bit in the last like 2 years or so. But you guys are Chicago guys. What were your feelings? Have they changed any on Scottie Pippen? Mm-hmm. And does it play into your enjoyment or lack thereof for his cards?
John can go first.
My personal perspective is I pay attention to what he did on the court. All that other stuff, I'm not worried about it. Has it affected his cards? I still see them selling pretty high, so I don't think that it has. He's still part of one of the greatest teams ever, regardless. And he was a monster on the court, defense, offense. And, I mean, he was Robin to Batman to Jordan,
That makes sense. Josh, what do you think?
I think I agree. It doesn't. I mean, his cards still sell pretty strong, but I think it hurt his legacy generally because he came off kind of like sour grapes and kind of bitter for a while. I mean, he made some pretty off-the-wall comments, some pretty bold statements I don't think most people would agree with.
Yeah, but imagine being in Scotty's shoes, though.
Right. He did come off like a goofball in that show, though.
Yeah.
So, but his stuff still goes. I mean, I think a PMG
show?
just sold for a ton of money recently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm remembering that. I'll have to flash up that sale. I can't remember what the price was. I saw something recently talking about his rookie card and how much the pop count has gone up in the last year on his 88 Fleer rookie, which I would assume that there's a reason why people aren't grading those just for fun. I'm sure like if the pop count's going up that much, it's because there's a reason that they think it's desirable. But yeah, I think it doubled in a year. That 88 set was one that I was chasing as a kid. I put it together. That's a great rookie class in that set with Scottie Pippen was really the headliner, but Reggie Miller, Muggsy Bogues, Horace Grant. Yeah, I could nerd out. We're here to talk about 90s. I'm talking about 88 Fleer.
No, it kind of goes into
it all connected.
We went from Wizards Jordan to 88 Fleer and Scottie Pippen.
Oh my god!
The two ends right around the 90s.
Right, we skipped the 90s for a little bit.
Right. A little divergence. Never killed anybody, right? So one of the things I think is kind of neat, and I don't know if there's any highlights that you guys have in this auction, but like you're talking about the Ultra Stars Gold, you guys don't shy away from some players like Marcus Camby who aren't, the upper echelon. Like, so we talked about some Shaqs and Kobe's and Jordans and Pennies. Like, are there any like really killer cards of some of those kind of like semi-star players that are coming up this time?
Oh, that's a good question.
That Corey Dillon PMG.
Oh yeah, the Corey Dillon PMG. We've got Eric Lindros Run for the Cup because
for Hot Van Horn Ruby.
Oh, Keith Van Horn. Is it a rookie year, Ruby? 97?
No, 98.
98, okay.
Yeah. And then we also have, like Run for the Cup for hockey is like one of the toughest inserts to find. It's hand number to 100. So, horizontal card. It's got a little bit of acetate with the player's picture in the corner. They're extremely popular no matter who it is. And Lindros still is pretty popular. It's a Hall of Famer. So, So, yeah, stuff like that is, I think, always gets, I think, a pretty bold, good showing.
Yeah.
Trying to find a picture for you.
I mean,
because I have no idea what it looks like.
And there's people out there that, can't really buy, Michael Jordan PMG. So they got to go on a lower tier, Like I was saying with me with the Fleer Retros. I can't afford a championship MJ PMG, but I can afford a retro Michael Jordan championship PMG.
Well, and one of the things I've done, because like I'm in that same boat where like the penny PMGs are like just not in my firing range right now. But like I've gone to other sports, so like because like for football PMGs, like we're talking about, there's 150 total, right? So like I've had 3 or 4 football Reds. I only have one of them now. It's like what's his name? Ricky Dudley, I think. He's like a tight end from the Raiders. Right, but it's just like I just have one just to have one. Eventually I might have a penny, who knows?
Just to have it, right.
Yeah, exactly. Because I can enjoy the visual aesthetics of that without having to have the penny, But like the PMG championships, that's right. I traded the PMG. I had one of some wide receiver from the Chargers, but I traded it for a Row Zero Legacy of Penny. So
that's a fair trade.
Yeah, I was happy with it. What other kind of bangers are? You mentioned the Club Vertical. I'm going to keep my eye on that one. I just picked up Keith Van Horn Club Vertical at the National. Is there an Iverson Club Vertical? I can't remember.
I want to say yes.
I feel like I can picture it as white uniform.
Yeah.
Between that and the KG, I need to get one of them.
And we have a Bulls team refractor in a BGS 9.5, which is always, I think, a pretty popular card. It's from the team after the 4th championship. Yep. That one's great. Trying to think what else, because it's been quite a long day.
The golf scorecard.
His legacy collection, Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that his rookie year?
Second year, 99.
Second year.
99, but it's still a very nice legacy collection. There's we got the Jordan golf scorecard autographed on the back from a local course here in the area that we picked up at the National. That was it was a good National because we got a lot of stuff, a lot of consignments, and a lot of visibility.
Oh yeah, these game jerseys are huge as well.
Oh, yeah. The Iverson, yep. Yeah, that's
a nice one. And Josh, I believe you got this at Burbank, right?
I picked that up at Burbank, a consignment from Burbank, which is thank you. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I mean that's great. It's I think it's a 9, so great look. So I mean, there's something for everybody. Not everything is going to be huge, big dollar, but something for every collector. Like you said, if someone wants a copy of an insert that they can't find, and either Gretzky for Run for the Cup never shows up. When it does, it goes for big dough, or a Jordan in a game jersey. But if you just want a copy, you get Iverson. We had Shaq in the last one in the Century Club out of 100 that went for pretty good money, and so it's each time we're trying to find.
We have this one. This one's coming up.
Shaq,
yeah, that's gonna be in the one coming out right now.
That's gonna be in this October 2nd. I don't think we brought up the date once, have we?
We said we're opening October 2nd.
So the bidding opens on the 2nd. When does it close?
It closes on the weekend before Halloween on that Saturday, and that is going to be the 28th.
Okay. So you can go on there on the 2nd, start seeing the stuff, throw some bids in. So for those who haven't bid, myself included, how is it like with Golden where extended? Run me through how it works as we get down to the hammer.
All right, so go online. If you haven't registered yet, you can register at 90sauctions.com. Click on my account, and it'll have a link to register if you haven't yet. I'd probably need to check your references, but most people I could just approve right away, and you're fine. And then October 28th, as long as you get all your initial bids in by 8:00 Central, you can go into extended bidding, and we do a full extended bidding where it's if one item in the auction gets a bid within 15 minutes, the entire auction's extended to 15 minutes. And
Okay.
we do that. So it's like a double overtime. We do that until about 11 o'clock. And then at 11 o'clock, we have lot by lot. So if something doesn't get a bid in 15 minutes, it closes. So it's kind of like the double overtime, we call it. So some other auction houses have adopted. We're adopting what other auction houses have done.
Okay.
So yeah. So hopefully, as the bigger and bigger we get, the longer and longer these auctions will go, and that's the goal, to maximize profits for our consigners and find cool, hard to find stuff for collectors.
Okay. And so if I'm looking to bid, like, again, using Golden as a reference, you bid what you bid, and then there's a buyer's premium that you pay on top of that, and then the other fees, whatever
Right.
taxes and shipping. So is it the similar structure for you guys? Do you guys run it differently?
Yeah, so we have a 17% buyer's premium. That's flat, so we try to keep it lower than, people are raising theirs now for whatever reason. Overhead's expensive, but we're trying to keep ours at 17%. Try to keep our overhead low. If you want to pay by PayPal, it's an extra 2%. Otherwise, check, wire, Zelle, doesn't cost anything extra. And then, our goal is to ship it out within 24 to 48 hours. So, because we know when we win stuff, we want it right away because you want the card. So that's our goal. Keep it mindful of people that we're like, we understand you buy a card on a Saturday, you want it Monday, so that's kind of what we've tried to accomplish. And as we get bigger, probably have to, spend more time late at night packing stuff up. Because on Saturday night, the last auction, the minute it closed, we got like a bunch of payments right away. So I was up, John and I were up till about 2:00 in the morning packing stuff up. They're out in the mail Monday morning. Most of the time get their stuff by Wednesday. So I think that's a pretty good turnaround.
Now, when I'm buying stuff online, I usually
want to bring this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to bring this up because I know we haven't even did any ads for these yet. We do have these 6 cards coming as well. I mean, probably lower tier, but still really great cards. We have 3 Fleer Classic 61s from the 98. We have Sean Kemp, Patrick Ewing, and John Stockton. So those are really cool. Then we have 3 platinum medallions as well. We have from 97 Ultra. We have Larry Johnson, Glenn Rice, and Vin Baker. And those are all slabbed in PSA. And those will be in the October 2nd auction as well. I'll give you a look if you can see that.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Ewing's a sharp image. I like the Ewing picture. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that with the pink background.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice one. So when I'm buying stuff online, what I was just saying is I like to send personal checks through the mail. You guys accept those too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Cashier's checks, Western Union.
Anything. Carrier pigeon, take it. As long as it gets to us, we're fine. But yeah, we take personal checks.
Roll of quarters.
Roll of quarters is fine. Hopefully still in the roll, but yeah, take whatever.
Awesome. Yeah. Because I'm like, I feel like every auction house runs their stuff differently. And I think it's important for people to know kind of like all those details, especially if it's a first time thing. And I know, you guys have been running it for a year, but there's probably some people who, are just learning now about 90s auctions. So
sure. And every auction is, we're learning something new, or we're taking, figuring something else differently to tweak it. And it's a growth process, and we get feedback from customers, what they like, what we could do better, what we shouldn't do. But it's a good process, and we learn something new every auction, which is always helpful.
And you guys,
100%,
correct me if I'm wrong, your sale prices show up on Card Ladder also, right?
They do. Ever since the first auction. So,
Correct.
Yeah. And the first auction, we set a couple all-time highs for a Shaq Essential Credential and a couple Griffies. So from the jump, people were
Yeah, I
receptive
believe
to us.
the red label.
Red Label Jordan too.
Oh yeah, that's a beauty.
Yep.
I love Topps Gold Label.
Me too.
Yeah, so underrated. They're beautiful.
They are. I mean, if you like Flair Showcase, you're gonna love Topps Gold
They
Label.
kind of go hand in hand visually. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were meant to compete with Legacy, but then I mean, everyone likes the Legacy, but the Gold Label is great. In baseball, it's great too. So
Yeah.
I just lost out on a Frank in a Gold Label last week, so I know who got it too. So
What year?
99.
So Penny is not in the 98 Gold Label insert set. So the only Gold Label cards of Penny, he's in a Suns uniform.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bummer for me. I mean, I don't mind his Suns uniform stuff, but it's not as good as the Magic stuff. So
No,
I seen in one of the 90s rooms, somebody just grabbed a red label Penny off eBay in a lot, and it was like, I think the 1 of 1 or in the 25. It was crazy, and he got it for a crazy price. I was like,
that's wild. I know at the National this last year, Zach had I think it was the Class 2 Red Label Penny 1 of 1. I think it was Red Label.
He did.
Yeah. So I got to see it.
He always has fun stuff.
He does, and it's like Zach's another one that has like a very wide range of stuff. He doesn't just do 90s,
right?
But it was funny talking to him in Atlantic City. He had a number of PMGs, different sports, baseball or basketball and football, and he was saying a lot of people were coming up and didn't know what they were. People were asking him about kabooms and not PMGs, which is, it's like us 90s guys, like, we know it when we see it. And, but I know when I'm going through hunting for 90s stuff, it's not the easiest thing to find at the National,
Right. I mean, you can count on your hand who's got it. Grant's got everything. Zach, and a couple other guys. You'll see it like sparsed out. And then if you don't write down the booth number, you'll never see it again. So
exactly. You get
that
lost
happens to me every year. Right. Happens every year to me.
We came across the green Brett Favre, remember?
Yeah.
Guy was trying to sell that to us, and we weren't really. I'm not a Packers fan. No offense to you, but we sent him on his way, and then he came back, and this time he came back. It was graded, I believe, a BGS 8 or 9.
8.5.
8.5. Okay, and then he was asking me what I took a guesstimate on the value, and then I think Grant ended up with it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's a nice card. That one was legit, but there's been a lot of.
I'm pretty sure I seen him posted it.
There's been a lot of green PMGs popping up lately in Beckett slabs that
they have the uncut sheets
because people cut up sheets and put the stamps on the back. So you got to be careful when you're buying, especially 8.5s with all the same serial number. I love uncut sheets. I think they're great to keep as collectors items.
Use them as wallpaper.
Right. I have a couple uncut sheets. You see in the back. That's a behind me. See right behind me. That's that's a Garbage Pail Kid first run, from the first issue. That was cool. I've got a 58 Topps uncut sheet.
J. Rome?
Bought that before J. Rome. Man. No, I've had that forever. I finally got it slabbed, and then I have 59 football, and then I have a 79 hockey. So it's rolled up. I want to frame those, but I'm running out of wall space here. So I think uncut sheets are great as part of hobby history to understand why certain cards never get higher grades or why certain cards are off-centered. I'll give you an example. It's way offline from 90s though. Is 57 Mantle is always off-centered because it's the bottom right card of the sheet. It's always cut that way. So I would love to see an uncut sheet of that, but I've never seen one from with Mantle on it. I have one with Banks and I think it's got Banks and Rot as a strip of 4. So I picked that up a while ago. But yeah, uncut sheets are great. I would like to buy them now so people can't cut them up. Now it's just to protect the hobby. Like that Essential Credentials sheet just sold. I hope whoever has it keeps it like that.
Yeah, I had heard one of the essential credential sheets. I think Spino bought just for the exact same reason that you were saying, because he wanted to
Yeah,
keep it at the hands of
that's what I
somebody
heard.
else.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally do that. So,
Yeah.
and we don't have any uncut sheets in this one, but there are a few that are come up in every auction. There's like really cool, like Luminators was up, I think, in Heritage last month. I would love a Hot Hands if they ever had that. That'd be awesome.
That'd
Yeah.
be really
So, yeah, but I think it's a cool piece of hobby history, hobby knowledge to have those things.
One of the things I just thought of when you guys were talking about, the PMGs and the stamping, I think it was you guys that were telling me there was it a rave or a super rave that somebody brought to you guys' table? That
Super rave, Jordan,
and it wasn't legit, right?
Oh, the Jordan, the BGS 9
was not legit.
No. We almost.
So how did you
pulled the
guys
trigger,
know?
too.
Was it?
And we had one of our good buddies telling us to pull the trigger. He was vouching for it and everything. But we didn't do it. Thank God.
So how'd you guys know that it wasn't legit? Was there a telltale sign?
We found
for
out
this one-
after the fact. We made a couple, I guess, reached out to a couple people, obviously people that know. And we had a couple people at our table that, deal heavy in 90s, especially with rare stuff like that. And where did we end up? What is that website that you guys use? Blowout? Is that it?
Blowout is one of them that has that information on there. Yes.
Right. So I personally went on there myself and I looked at the serial, and you could tell in the zero it was just a little bit off. And I showed it to a couple other people, and they were not 100%. So it's just it's. I mean, it wasn't that high of a risk, but it's if they're not pulling with us, then we're just like, okay, we'll just walk away. We've had, even at the Atlantic City show, we had a guy come up with a bunch of crazy cards, essential credential, a Kobe, and just all type of outrageous cards. And there was just something off about them, and we walked away. We seen them this year as well, but people were still making moves with them, but we knew not to,
Yeah, there was a guy that I ran into at one of the nationals that was telling me that he got a bunch of like bankruptcy like Fleer and Skybox stuff from a bankruptcy auction, and it was insert sets that weren't serial numbered, right? So like there's really no way to tell the difference between any of the ones that we pack pulled, other than if he was to disclose it, which he wasn't disclosing, like he had told me about it. So it's like those are the scary ones too, because if there's not something like a serial number to be able to identify, how would we know?
Yeah, I agree.
And there's still stuff that's slabbed that is fraudulent. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Like we were that Jordan we were just referring to, the BGS 9. It was fake, but it was slabbed.
Yeah.
I mean, that Super Rave's a great set, and that's what keeps it, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, keeps it down so much is because there's so many fake ones. People are afraid to buy them. I mean, it's an awesome looking card. I mean, I have a Kobe out of 50 that's legit. If I had it here somewhere, I'll show it to you, but it's I'll post a picture of it.
Yeah, and like think about like the 98 Thunder set, right? The Raves and the Super Raves just never show up. And I feel like more often than not, when one does show up, I'm hearing eventually that it's not a legit copy, whether it's raw or not, right? So it's just like, as infrequently as they do show up, I feel like half the time they're not authentic, which just adds kind of to the mystique, but it's also a little bit of a bummer.
I was able to buy a common a while ago on eBay just to keep it as like a to tell, because I forget who it was, but no one's gonna make a fake of a common guy. Oh, it's Mark Jackson. It's Mark Jackson. Okay. No one's pumping Mark Jackson and making fake Mark Jackson Super Raves.
Right.
It's good to as a good visual to see if it's legit or not. So. Yeah,
I did the same thing with the 97 Rubies. I picked up a Todd Day on ComC like years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I ended up getting it graded by PSA. Just if I ever move it later on down the line, somebody else might want to make sure it's authentic. But again, like, who's going to take the time to counterfeit a Todd Day?
Right. Exactly.
Right. Just to have it for reference.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because like even like thinking 98 credentials. Not that those get faked a lot because those are tough.
Mhm.
But like I have like a Nazir Muhammad, and I just picked up a Mo Taylor. You know.
Yeah, those are safe to fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's like there are so many great '90s cards. You know, my
Speaking on the raves. Speaking on
What
the
were you gonna say
raves, I
about-
wanted to discuss the rave review because
Oh yeah.
those are the orange ones, right?
Yep. Kind of copper.
Okay, so you know how they're orange and they have the black border. I think
Yeah.
we might have been discussing this, but they were supposed to be die cut.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Now that
So
hasn't been
those black
confirmed,
ones-
but I mean my sources were pretty sure that they were actually originally supposed to be die cut,
Those would have been
which
wild.
I think would have looked way cooler than just the
Yeah.
the orange and then the black side. Yeah.
Wow. I'd never heard that. I'm gonna look at my penny a little bit differently now.
Do you have it by you or no?
I don't. I have stacks of other cards, not that one though. Oh, actually, here's one. I think you guys saw. So the soul of the game, KG. I just saw. There was a guy at the National with the Jordan soul of the game, but it had like a printing defect where the letters didn't have the rainbow foil. Did you guys see that?
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that online.
I did. I saw that. It was pretty rare.
Okay. That was a unique thing. So somebody, who was it? Lou from the Card Talk pod had texted me, and he's like, "You need to come over to my booth to see this. I don't know what I'm looking at." So I ran over to his booth, and the guy had it there. And I think he was showing it to a lot of people because it was such a unique.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks cool, but I'm glad that they made it the way that they did. I think that would have been a cool parallel or something to do. It was a little more subtle, but.
Well, I've seen online a lot of people will put their soul of the games next to each other. They could be 3 Jordans, but all the color waves will be different.
Always different. There's no same color wave on any of them. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing, you know?
It is. There's no same
Right.
color pattern for any console of the game, any player.
Yeah, and I had heard in an interview.
And they had
that
those, they had baseball, they had basketball.
Yep. Yeah, and I had heard in an interview that Gene from Arena Design had said that was not intended. Like, they didn't do that intentionally. It just is, like, part of the way that they were printed. So she was like, I'm glad that people enjoy that because it wasn't something that we, like, thought through strategically. It's just the way that they came out, which is cool. I love hearing from designers that, like, we can hear some of the stories and the inspirations that go into some of this stuff. I wonder if they worked on the rave review set, if they could confirm that those are supposed to be die cut. That would be cool.
I could probably,
I'd love to hear that.
believe I had a conversation. That's Arena Design?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I believe I had that conversation. I should pull it up. But I know I asked her just because I'm so curious about it. Keep going. If I find it,
Yeah, no, I had asked her about the Gravity Denied from EX 2001. Because I was saying to her at the Chicago National in 21.
Hold on. Let me read this off real quick.
Yeah. You got it.
Let me read this off real quick. On the rave review, Earl designed it. When the design came in right away, I knew I wanted to use that copper hollow foil, which is the orange. I did request it to be die cut, but it wasn't in the budget.
So there we have it.
That's pretty cool.
So I guess
So
that
now
answers
I'm
your
gonna.
question. Oh, they were supposed to be die.
So I'm gonna have to go and pick up a damaged copy of the penny and cut it myself.
Here you go. Yes.
Right. That's awesome. Tag me when you put that up too.
Right. I'll go find a mangled copy.
We'll do a post with my altered scoring and your die cut rave.
There we go. Yeah. Like, oh man, there's so many of those like really cool stories. The one I was talking to her about is the Gravity Denied, because those look like they almost were like a keychain, but like obviously way too big to be you. So I was like, where did you guys get the idea for those? And she said she was going to make a post about it eventually. But those are just we've never seen anything like those. It's just a very unique, creative design.
No.
And I love hearing her stories of like inspiration she has for certain cards. Were very cool. Like, oh, I was thinking of this. I saw it on TV, so I thought I'd use it. It's great. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, she's a truly artistic mind.
Hey,
Or like the hot.
thank
numbers.
God she has a good memory. I remember last week.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That too. I remember she was talking about how the hot numbers. There's like numbers and stuff hidden in the background that are like significant to like her and her husband and the kids and all that kind of stuff, which is
Oh wow.
really cool stuff that I'm sure none of us would actually be able to like find the things, but I'm sure like her looking at it, she's like, oh yeah, that one has that and that one has that. So that's a cool thing. Yeah, little Easter eggs hidden there for her.
Now they also did the cut above, correct?
I think so. Yes.
The blades.
Yeah, because she was talking about how the football and the baseball came out after the basketball. That's why they had the full saw blade,
Right.
and they just had the black
Right.
like piece between the two saw blades in the
The
middle on the
little
bottom.
black part at the bottom, middle.
Right. She said that was what the machine needed to pull it out, and they learned that with the basketball version. That's why it came out first. Yeah, those are so cool. Actually, do I have?
See that's totally nerding out, but I love that kind of stuff, you know.
It is nerdy.
That's what we are. We're just card nerds. Yeah, here it is. The
I love to hear backstories.
So like that little part right there
Wow.
between his feet where it's black was where the machine like pulled it out. So
You got it like that, or I mean, was it graded when you got it, or?
no, I got it raw and I graded it myself. I was really surprised by the grade too. I got a 9.5 SGC 9.5 because I just thought it would look cool in the SGC slab.
Mhm. Yeah, it does.
It's like with all the die cuts and all the edges, I didn't have much confidence in how it would grade. So when it came back a 9.5, I was pleasantly surprised. So then, of course,
And I agree with you. And another big thing on those that I personally had, because I've had 3 Jordans, and all 3 of them had surface damage.
Yeah,
Lines, scratches, you know.
Yep. Or refractor lines. I had a Terrell Davis with a nasty refractor line down the middle, right down the middle too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're so beautiful. I've debated if I want to grade my penny copy.
Like Josh, you were gonna get what was it? It was a classic 61 Jordan. It was at 8.5, a BGS 8.5.
It's a BGS 8.5, but it has
Yeah,
a refractor line right down on
refractor line.
the left side.
Mm.
A dentist tried to sell it to me.
Build it.
Don't tell Chris that.
He knows who it is.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
We can't say names. Can't say names.
Still looking for one. The pink. I'm looking for one out of.
Did I tell you guys the story about the classic 61 1 of 61 penny?
No. Let's hear it. Oh.
So I had that, the 1 of 61 penny. I got it at the 2021 Chicago National from a buddy who's a big 90s collector, and I traded it even for the penny jambalaya. Like it was really soon after. I felt really bad about it as soon as I made the trade because like I just gotten it from a friend, you know. So I texted him and he was actually happier for me about getting the jambalaya because he knew it was like the #1 Grail card for me, and he was like the classic 61 will come back. He's like, it's a cool card because it's jersey numbered, but they don't look anywhere near as cool as the jambalayas. So
that's true. I mean I like the 61 because I like vintage and 90s stuff, so it's a nice combo of both.
Yeah.
And, I'd love the Jordan's the #1 on my list right now.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough because like the penny, obviously, like, you know, #1 and it's his jersey number. But I don't put personally a premium on jersey numbered cards for my collection, but others do. So
I don't. There was a penny Diamond Dimensions 1 out of 100 that popped up like 4 times last year from the same seller.
yeah, I've heard some speculation as to whether or not that one is legit. So
Same. I backed off of that one. I still need that for the set, so someday. Do you have one at Diamond Dimensions?
No, I don't. I keep trying to, you know, I don't think about, all the different pennies that you collect for sets that so, you have the Profiles 3 penny, right?
I like that card very much. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
so do I.
I know. If I find another one, it's all yours.
Yeah, those hand number ones, another thing that Chris loves.
You're right. Right. Loves them. That's my favorite. I love them so much. They're my favorite part of collecting 90s cards. They're hand numbered.
I think it's fun. When I was a kid, I actually thought that the player numbered them. So I was like, oh, this is basically an autograph card. But then looking at all the different ones of all the different players, and they all seem to have the same exact handwriting, led me to believe that they probably weren't written on there by the player.
Some guy was on Twitter that worked at Upper Deck and posted he was the guy that did the hand numbering for like Diamond Dimension. Yeah, I sent it to Mike Piccini a long time ago, and I can't find it anymore. So, yeah, I'll find it.
What was that Kobe that you had that was hand numbered?
Diamond Dimensions.
That was Diamond Dimension?
Yeah, if you mind, I'm going to look for it. Want me to get it?
Sure.
Yeah, are you sure we're talking about the same one?
Yeah.
I got like diamonds. Yeah.
No, not that one. It was a foil. It was a foil Upper Deck.
Oh yeah, it's Profile 3. Profile 3.
Profiles, yeah.
I have that one too.
It's foil.
Yeah, it's got foil.
It's Upper Deck. No, it's not Profile. It's not Diamond Dimensions.
Number to 100?
I don't know. Yeah, it's number to 100. It's a Kobe that you have, and you asked about it in one of the rooms.
Oh yeah.
You still have that?
Blank. Yeah, I'm drawing a complete blank. I know what you're talking about. I didn't get rid of it.
Okay.
Not the BAMs. The BAMs?
No, it's an Upper Deck card.
Upper Deck? I don't know.
It's a Kobe. He's got the afro. It's foil. And it was hand numbered, and I've seen you ask about it. I remember when you got it too. It was during the hype during COVID. I don't know what you paid or whatever, but I don't know.
Keep me up all night now thinking about this.
Well, when you think
I'm sure
of
I'll come across it. I'll come across it next show, buried.
So speaking of the BAMs, one of my most recent penny pickups.
Oh, what is it called?
Nice.
I just got that one just like a couple weeks after the National.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's
I
killer.
love that. I love that with the blue jersey. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the Slam BAMs yet, but
I think the BAMs for Kobe looks better than the BAMs for Jordan. I think the BAMs for Jordan doesn't really do it for me. Like even the penny looks sharp, but yeah, with the blue, like John said, looks a lot better, I think.
I mean, the blue's just the best jersey that, was ever made for basketball.
Oh, the match. Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
That I think it was the Bulls black and red pinstripe, and then the Magic with the blue jerseys with the white pinstripe. There's white pinstripes, right?
Yeah.
It was white pinstripes or black?
Yep.
It was white?
That throws me back. Ooh. Yeah. Like Shaq. Oh my God. Yeah, it's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Oh wait. So John, you were saying that you had a recent mail day.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate you helping me. You kind of middleman this for me because the guy wasn't responding to me, so I had to have you step in with your influence.
What? I don't even know what the card is. I can't wait to see what this is. Oh no way.
Oh, nice.
It's a Pop 2.
Oh, man.
EGS 10.
Wow.
My man.
You'll never. They probably won't. They probably will never be a Pop 3. But yeah, that's really swift.
Those are tough grades too. I mean, 10. Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's slick, man. That's slick.
Yeah.
That was one of the dream cards for me as a kid. There was the Jambalaya was number 1, Cut Above was number 2, and then the hot.
Yeah, I love the hot numbers.
Yeah, hot numbers are great.
Hat hands. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, those are great. No mail days for me lately.
Hot shots.
Hot shots. Hot hands was baseball.
Before we said hot numbers, hot hands, it's hot shots.
I'm thinking of baseball because you got me. You talking about Frank Thomas all day. I need a Frank Thomas hot hands too.
It's all good.
Big hurt. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I could chat 90s with you guys all night, but my wife would probably kill me if she's not already asleep. So
Yeah. Oh, no, jeez. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. All right. I'm going to be in Kansas City tomorrow. I'll send an email out. We're picking up some consignments out there. So
from Taylor Swift, right?
From Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, we're gonna
Yep.
we're gonna hang out and shake it off, and then you know, no. But it turns out a friend of mine, a colleague of mine's father, collects a lot of sports cards and memorabilia. He's got like a warehouse full of stuff, like a warehouse storage locker full of stuff. So I'm gonna go out there and check it out, and hopefully bring a lot of it back. There's my dog barking. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'll post about it.
And then you'll be back Wednesday night, right?
No, tomorrow's. Yes, Wednesday night I'll be back. Wednesday
night.
Quick turnaround.
Wednesday night. Okay. So when am I meeting you? Thursday night?
Wednesday night at the airport. Real shady.
Paper bag, brown paper bags.
Paper bag in the airport parking lot. So I meet some of my clients.
Cardboard box full of cards.
Cardboard box. There you go.
Well, this has been a blast, guys. I appreciate you guys. First off, I appreciate you guys kind of doing all the legwork to get all these incredible 90s cards under, really one roof and sharing them. Some of these things, pulling them out and getting them out to collectors is half of the battle. So it's been fun to just do some window shopping. We'll see if like that KG or something end up with me by this time next month.
Yeah, you never know. Make sure you guys sign up 10/2/23. That will be our fourth quarter auction. www.90sauctions.com. You can reach us at our IG at 90sauctions.com. And anything, Josh?
Thanks for having us on, Jake. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you so much. We will hang out. We'll hang out in Cleveland. So be ready.
We'll see. I'm hopeful I can make it there. I should be able to be there, but it's never a guarantee until I book the room.
Come on now. All right. We're getting Airbnb. So.
We're renting a house, like a 6-person house, like 12 minutes away. Actually, it's pretty nice. So.
Yeah, there's nothing close there, from what I hear.
Well, the Sheraton used to be there, but when they closed down the IX Center, they tore down the Sheraton. The Sheraton was great. You could walk there from the airport, and then they had a shuttle to the IX Center. But we found a house 12 minutes away, 6 bedrooms, huge kitchen, more importantly, like 6 baths, which is great, because
that's key.
Yes. 6 card collectors in a house for a week is not going to be nice. So that's the key. So I'm excited. John and I probably drive out there. Cleveland's it's an easy shot. I've done like 3 nationals in Cleveland. You just leave at like 3 a.m. You get there by 9, 10 o'clock to set up, and then you're good to go. It's a great ride.
For you.
For me.
It wouldn't be a good ride for me.
No, it's a little farther for you.
From Cleveland.
You're far.
I don't even know. Days. I don't know. It would be a long haul for me.
You're probably like 12 hours away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because we drove. I did the Baltimore show. We drove from Chicago to Baltimore. It took us 12 hours. So, whatever. The journey is half the fun than the destination.
Sure, if you say so.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks a lot for having us on, man.
I appreciate you guys.